Good morning, students. Today we'll study about the economy and society of Russia, how the economy was functioning, and what type of society was there. If we talk about the society in the beginning of 20th century, most of the people in Russia were agriculturists. It means they were engaged in agricultural activities. That is about 85% of Russian population. All these people were engaged in agriculture. If we compare it to the other countries of Europe, the ratio comes down to 40 to 60%. It means in other countries like Russia, like England or like Germany, in those countries 40 to 60% people are engaged in the agricultural activities. But in Russia there were 85% people who engaged in agricultural activities, and rest 15% were engaged in industrial activities. That means they are working as craft person. They are not working in industries, they are working as craft person. There were very few industries till the start of 20th century in the Russia, and these industries that were found in pockets. It means on a particular area, the small particular area where industries were located, they were called the pockets. So the main industrial area of Russia were Petersburg and Moscow. Most of the works in industries that were done by the craftsmen, and their work was done mostly in along the craft workshop, in the large factories that were existed along the craft workshops. It means they were having their workshops, and on the just nearby the workshop there were the factories, the very big factories in which they work. Any factory was set up in 1890s when Russia's railway network extended, and the factories were started establishing in 1890s when the railway network in Russia extended, as well as the foreign investment also came there at the same time, because they were getting a good railway network. And as all this happened, the coal production doubled in Russia, and the iron steel output quadrupled. It means it increased 4 times. By the 1900s, in some areas, factory workers and craft person were almost equal in number. It means many people started leaving agriculture and working as craft person in industries. But in industries it was very difficult to work for people, because these industries were the private properties. These were owned by the private person. And what government do? Government just revised or supervised large factories to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. So minimum wages were given to laborers, but it was very difficult for the inspectors of government to prevent of breaking laws, especially regarding the time. Many times people need to work for 10 to 12 hours in factories, and they do happily that. Why? Because in the workshops they need to work for 15 hours, and that was very long compared to the factories. So people were agree to work for 10 hours 12 hours in a day. If they don't work for 10 to 12 hours and they go to any workshop, then they need to work for 15 hours. So that becomes more difficult for them. This is why it was very tough job for the inspectors to follow the rules of 8-hour working. If we talk about the accommodation was varied from rooms to dormitories. In some factories rooms were given to workers, but in most of the factories, dormitories were provided to the workers. Dormitories were the halls, just like a photo is given here. It is a bunker, but this type of structure was there, that is called the dormitory, in which many workers live together. They have their own bed, separate bed for everyone, and they all live in a single hall, that is called dormitory, and they were not allowed to keep their family with them. So this is how the workers were working, and all these were happening because there were a lot of division in workers also. They were divided into social groups, because these division were based on their skill. Just like a metal worker of St. Petersburg recalled, metal workers considered themselves aristocrats among other workers. What they think, that we are the aristocrats, it means we are the best in all the workers, because this occupation demanded more training and skill. So the metal workers, they consider themselves as aristocrats. They can consider themselves best among the other workers, and they do not like to be with or to be counted with the other workers or other craft person. So this is how the society was divided in in Russia. So if we talk about women made up 31% of factory labor. Foods by 1914. Till 1914, there were 31% of total labor force working, but they were paid less than men, many times half, many times 3/4 of men's wage. This much wage they were paid. Division among workers showed themselves in dress and manners too. Some workers formed associations to help members in times of unemployment or financial hardship, but such associations were very few. So there were no such thing like to work for the workers, to give them a good condition or anything. All these divisions were there, but with all these divisions, the workers were united on one issue, that was the strike or the stop work. Whenever factory owner dismiss someone from the job, or whenever they need to increase salary, or whenever they want some changes in working condition, and the factory owners do not listen their demands, then they go for the strike. And these strikes took place frequently in textile industry during 1896-1897, and in the metal industry during 1902. So this was about the people who were working in industries, factories. The countryside peasant cultivated most of the land, but the nobility, the crown and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. Like workers, peasant too were divided. Now we talk about the situation of peasant. They have cultivated most of the land, but they were not the owners. The most of the land were owned by the nobility. It means the crown, it means the king, and the Orthodox Church. Nobility, the people who work for the king, the crown, it means the king, and the Orthodox Church. They have owned large properties, they have owned most of the land, and very few land were there which were with the farmers. And as we see the society, farmers were also divided as the workers of factories. And their division was deeply religious, but except in few cases, they had no respect for the nobility. In Russia, it was the situation completely differ from the countries like France, because in France people were getting support from nobility and they respect the nobility. Nobility helped people to revolt against the king. But here in Russia, the condition was completely opposite. Here, nobles were not helping farmers because they were enjoying the power, and all the power and position they got through the services to the Tsar, not through local popularity. It doesn't mean that how much popular they are. If they are serving the Tsar well, they get their position, they get the power. So they were again they were not very much popular in the public, and this is why the peasants were very much against the nobles. And what they want to get their land back from the nobles. And frequently, this is why they refuse to pay rent and even murdered landlords. Whenever these nobles or these landlords ask them to pay rent of land, they refuse, and when these were done regularly, they many times they murdered landlords. In 1902, this occurred on a large scale in South Russia, and 1905 such instances took place all over Russia. Russian peasants were different from other European peasants in another way. They pulled now. What was the main difference between the Russian farmers and other European farmers was that they pulled their land together periodically, and their commune divided it according to the needs of individual families. What they do, they do not work on their own land. They make association and they pull their land together. They make a very big piece of land, and every year periodically they get a chance to cultivate the land. And after harvesting, whatever the crops were grown, they were divided among everyone as per their requirement. So they were socialist in nature, because they work as they get the new production. What they do, they keep their land together and work in a social manner, so that everyone could get a good chance to live a good life. So this was the main reason why socialism developed in Russia. How it happened? Before 1914, all the political parties were illegal in Russia. Though the Russian Socialist Democratic Workers' Party, that was founded in 1898, who supported the ideas of Marx, but because of the government policy, it operated as illegal organization till 1948. But this party, they have set up newspaper, mobilized workers and organized strike in Russia. Some socialists felt that Russian peasant custom of dividing land periodically made them natural socialist. The system what we have discussed earlier, it has made them natural socialist. So peasant, not workers, would be the main force of the revolution. So what they say, that the peasant would be the main force of revolution because they are socialist by nature, and workers, they are not socialist by nature, so they will not be our main force. They will come with us but later. And Russia could become socialist more quickly than other countries because most of the people are socialist in nature. Socialists were active in countryside through the late 19th century. They formed the Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. This party struggled for peasant rights and demanded that land belonged to the nobles be transferred to peasant. They started working in countryside and they asked government to transfer the land of nobles to peasant. Social Democrats disagreed with Socialist Revolutionary about peasant. Now when they discussed all this in the party, there were two groups emerged in the Socialist Democratic Party. There were some who were social democrats and the other were social revolutionaries. Lenin, who was the leader of socialist revolutionaries, felt that peasants were not one united group. Some were poor and others rich. Some worked as laborers while others were capitalists who employed workers. What he said, that when we look towards the peasant, there were two groups. They were not united. Why? Because there was some some peasant who own their land, and there were some peasant who get land on rent. So the peasant who have their own land, they were rich. They work on their own land to earn their own profit. So they became a type of capitalist person. The others who get land on rent or who worked on others' land, they were poor. So what he said, that all these peasants could not be the part of socialist movement because the capitalistic peasant who own their own land, they will not be agree on the demands of the peasants who work as labor or who work on the rental land. So this was the reason why division in party took place. The party was divided over the strategies of organization, and two groups emerged, Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. Bolsheviks were in majority. The majority group that were called Bolshevin in Russian, so from there they get the name Bolshevik. Vladimir Lenin, who was the leader of the Bolshevik group, thought that in a repressive society like Tsarian Russia, the party should be disciplined and should control the number and quality of its member. Other Mensheviks, who were that literally means the minority. So what they think, that though that the party should be open for all. So these were the basic difference between the Bolshevik and Menshevik. Bolshevik want that there should be a purity in the members, there should be a discipline, and we should control the number of member and quality. There should be very much liable for the party. On the other hand, Mensheviks, what they thought, that there should be a party for open for all. Now we study about the 1905 revolution when we meet next time. So till that time you should read the chapter and should try to understand whatever been expressed here. Thank you.